Joining me now is Kevin Lee from the airport. He's traveling out to Michigan to fight for Lights Out Championship. This kind of came out of nowhere, Kevin. So I guess how's it feel now that you're sitting at the airport waiting for a little bit of a homecoming? It's been, what, almost a decade or a decade plus since you've fought at home, right?
Yeah, it's been over a decade. And, it's been a while since I even stepped foot back on the soil. So it's going to be, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. I'm just happy I get the opportunity. I just wanted to fight. And it's only fitting that, of course, it's back home are the people who offer me a fight.
Yeah, no doubt, man. It'll be definitely a cool scene. I guess let's catch people up a little bit, because the last time they saw you didn't go your way in the UFC. Then it sounded like maybe you weren't going to be fighting anymore. And then you came back, and now it's like bang, bang. You got 2 fights on the books. So what has this past year been like for you? Has there been some soul searching? Was there a lot of stuff that you had to work through after that Renat loss? Or kind of how did you come to, hey, I want to get back in there and I still got this?
First and foremost was recovery. I walked into that fight with a major knee injury. I tore my ACL apart in the fight with Diego Sanchez, and then I never fixed it. So I went into the Renat fight with that ACL torn. So I had surgery September 12th last year. So it's been a little bit over a year since I had the surgery. And this whole year has been just recovery from that. I got into some other ventures too. A lot of people know about my restaurant that I opened up and me getting into the chef game and kind of enjoying that part of it. But as much as I dove into that and as challenging as that is, fighting is still in my heart. I still love this shit. I still knew, like, after like a few months, I knew I'm going to do this again. So, yeah, I started training heavy, maybe February, I started like really picking up the training. And then in June, I really started feeling like, okay, this is the old me again. And probably the last 2 months, I've been feeling like a world champion again. So that's when you've really been hearing me call out and ask for fights. And I was very serious when I talked a few weeks ago about fighting the first person that come by and is willing to sign the deal. And here we go. 2 weeks ago, they hit me up and they said, we got a guy who's willing to fight, who's willing to sign. And all right, here I go. So I've been training, I've been in shape, and I'm gonna put on a show. And it's only, like I said, it's only fitting that it ends up back home, kind of back where it all started. So I feel like I'm almost restarting my career again.
Yeah, I think it's cool, man. It's great to see you active. I think regardless of where you're fighting, people like to see you compete. But was there any talk about getting a second fight with the UFC? Like, I think it's unusual for maybe them to sign somebody and then only give them one, especially somebody like you. Like, you're pretty obviously a high profile name. Was there any conversation immediately thereafter that they would maybe give you a second one, or was it that when you said, hey, I don't want to fight anymore, that they kind of backed off? I guess, how did that conversation go down?
You're right. It is unusual that this is how it's going down. Honestly, a lot of my talk has been through my manager, Ali Abalaziz, and they didn't really have much conversation for me. They pretty much just said, no, all right, yeah, you want to come back, come back, but go somewhere else, basically. And like I said, I even offered to go on Dana White's Contender Series. Again, I'm not really sure what the problem is. It's not numbers. It's not what I'm willing to do for the company. I'm somebody who fought Tony Ferguson when nobody else wanted to fight Tony, when they needed somebody to fight him for the world title. Given that Conor McGregor had just fought Floyd Mayweather, and it wasn't looking good for the company. If I didn't fight Tony Ferguson at that time, you would have had DJ and Moraga headline it, which was a good fight, but it wouldn't have sold. We sold almost double with me on the card. So I know what I bring to the company. I know I've had some legendary moments inside the cage. If they don't see that, then all right, that's cool. I can show it. I can prove it. And if I end up somewhere else at the end of my career, then that's just what it is. I'm not necessarily going to be hung up on something. I'm not necessarily going to change who I am. I did hear that Dana had a problem with me speaking on the Apex for my last fight. Like, why are we still fighting in the Apex? But that's just how I am. I'm opinionated. If you ask me a question, I'm gonna give you an honest answer. Like, I can't bite my tongue and act like somebody that I'm not, just to appease anything. So, I love the UFC. It built me to who I am. It really built my career, and I'm happy that it's gotten me this far. But if it's no more, then there's no more. That's cool.
Yeah. And one of the things that men's all fences and is great performances, right? So I think if you go
Yep.
out there, you put on a couple of fights with your name that are great.
Yep.
I think you'll be right there again. Is that kind of what is that when you're getting up in the morning and you're training? Do you feel like this third opportunity with the UFC is something that through your abilities you'll be able to obtain?
Yeah. That's a good way to put it. I've been talking with a guy named Eric Thomas, who is a great motivational speaker, and he said winning changes everything. Like, it don't matter whatever else is going on, winning changes everything. So that's what we're gonna start this weekend. After this win, after the next win, that changes everything. That'll change up the whole conversations. And I think people just want to see me back too. I think there's some questions revolving my health. There's some questions revolving, the knee injuries and all of that stuff. So I'm happy to put those behind me and step into the next chapter.
Yeah, no doubt. And so that's in Wayne, Michigan. Tiago Oliveira is your opponent. Guy that's kind of been around. He's very seasoned vet. He has a ton of fights under his belt. This is
Yeah.
at welterweight, correct? Is this are you hoping
Yeah.
to get back to lightweight at some point? Is that kind of the goal?
Yeah, the goal is lightweight. This is only welterweight because of short notice, and it was easier for him to make the weight too. So after this, it'll be lightweight from now on.
Nice, nice. Yeah, and people can check that out on Spectation Sports. What do you feel like maybe is different for you coming into this one than past fights? Like, what kind of learning experience was that last loss? What did you kind of find out about yourself? I know you said it was a lot of physical recovery, getting your knee back, but I guess where are you at mentally now coming into this fight?
I feel I'm a lot more solid and stronger coming into this one. I think as soon as I did that jump and kind of tore my knee a little bit, um, I had kind of checked out of that fight. I mean, not many people gonna notice this, but I even like turned my back to my opponent and was mouthing to my brother like I just fucked my knee up bad. And honestly, we should have stopped the fight right then and there before it happened. Um, so I think I wasn't as focused as I needed to be in that fight. And now I feel a lot more dialed in. Now I feel a lot more confident. Now I feel a lot more um, ready for whatever this guy's going to bring or whatever happens. And just know that I can make the right decision at the right time. And I don't owe nobody. I don't owe anybody anything. Um, so with that, I'm just looking to go out there, have fun, and compete. I'm not really hung up on the results anymore.
Yeah, you mentioned your brother a couple times. I remember back during the pandemic, Bellator's at Mohegan, and
Yeah.
we were in the basement in a locker room, and they would ask me, do you want anybody from the prelims to do like kind of a side story on? I was like, oh, Kevin Lee's brother's on here, right? So we did a little thing about how he was your brother, and he wanted to be, something on TikTok, and now it's almost like you're Keith Lee's brother too. So,
Yeah.
so I guess how proud of you have you been of his success and kind of everything that he brings? And like you even said, I saw he was at your last fight, and he was bringing a lot of eyeballs in. Some of those social media numbers were crazy. So how proud are you of him and everything that he's accomplished with what he's got going on?
Incredibly. I'm super proud of him. I'm super proud that he always stuck to himself. And he's really helping people too, which is probably the most proud that I am. I think I'm more proud of that than if he was like a world champion fighter. And at the same time, he fought world champions. People don't really, they kind of see him as what he is now, but he's a great athlete in his own right. So I'm proud of him all around the board, just for the fact of you know being himself and really putting in the work. It takes a lot of work to get to where he's at right now, and I think people kind of overlook that. But me seeing it from the beginning and behind the scenes of it, it takes a lot of work to do what he's doing, and I'm super happy, and yeah, I couldn't be more proud of him.
Perhaps there's not as much motivation for him to fight these days, considering all the success that he's having. But have you ever thought about like the potential of a Lee Brothers card again? Like, I don't know if fighting's ever anything that he's ever considered again, but is that something that would interest you?
My own promotion wouldn't be a bad idea. Um,
I just meant
it's
fighting on
it,
the same card together, you know?
or that, but I mean, it would have to be
Yeah.
the right deal in place. It would have to be the right circumstances. Um, I don't know if anybody in MMA really has that type of vision. Not that I'm seeing. I mean, some of these
Mm.
promoters are okay. Some of these promoters, they keep the lights on, but I don't really see too many. That's one thing I will give Dana his props at. That man has vision, and he's willing to do what it takes to get things done. Um, yeah, I'll give Dana the props there, but I don't see too many other people. Um, Scott Coker was amazing. Scott Coker is incredible too. So maybe if Scott Coker wants to work a little bit, we can talk.
And you mentioned you have a restaurant now. Is that what you said?
Yep. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. Have you always been interested in like the culinary side of stuff? Is this like a new venture to you, or?
Yeah, it's new. It's new getting on to the into the like actually into the space. I mean, I've been cooking for a super long time. I've been cooking since I was maybe 18 or 19. It's kind of going hand in hand with my fight career almost. And I think that's why we've both been super interested in food. But me actually cooking for other people is a totally new venture, and it's kind of crazy. Cooking for 200 people is a lot different than cooking for you and your wife, or you know what I mean, like it's
Yeah,
it's crazy, but it's actually a lot of fun. I kind of like it. I'm opening
yeah.
up a food truck soon. I'm expanding it in the next few weeks, and I'm excited to see where that takes me.
Nice. What's the name of it? If you want to plug it.
It's Braised Restaurant. Braised. Right now we're in Hollywood, Florida, and I'm thinking about bringing it to Texas pretty soon. So we might bounce around a few other places.
Awesome, man. Well, before that happens, you got to fight on Saturday. Lights Out Championship 17, Wayne, Michigan, on Spectation Sports. Kevin Lee will be fighting Thiago Oliveira. So, Kevin, appreciate the time, man, and safe travels.
Appreciate it. Next time we talk, I'll be fighting for a world championship. So I appreciate that.